All right, hi. So I was asked a bit earlier today about scaling or growth in a company, and if there are any particular tips I could put together. There's a huge amount of resource on this, and scaling or growing a company really comes down to one of those ones where you say, well, it depends on what your kind of business is and what it's trying to do. However, there are 6 things that are really crucial you must always be trying to do, and I feel this is a kind of one size fits all. These 6 do really, they're appropriate anywhere. So bearing this in mind, if you're starting a business, or even if you've got one that's established and you want to kind of take it to another level, doing all of these 6 things are at least a strong framework from which you can grow the company, make it larger. So number 1, so for scaling, number 1 is be creative. And what I mean here is that growing a company, for instance, in terms of revenue, doesn't have to mean that you are getting more sales or you're getting a higher amount for each sale. It could be something a bit more interesting than that. It doesn't have to mean that you're just getting more bums on the seats and growing your sales team by just putting more people in. Scaling and growth can be done differently to that. So maybe you have to do something a bit more creative. Maybe you offer a different or a repackage of your product. Maybe you're offering a altogether different proposition. Look at what you have. How could you change it? Maybe take elements of it and offer something else. Okay, you can add parts to or new facets to a package or a product too, and that can make things quite interesting. So just think there are other ways to grow your company other than more sales. Work hard and try and get more sales. There's a lot more to it than that. So being creative is down to really what your product is and what resources you've got around you, but you'll find that people can grow in many different ways. Maybe you have to start outsourcing things. Maybe you will open branch offices and actually get more people in that way, working in another region. Whilst you're sleeping, they're selling for you in a different time zone or something. So it doesn't have to be just try and sell more. You need to be thinking a little bit outside the box, so to speak. Number 2 is this one, JVs or joint ventures. I think it's a mistake to think that you can't get joint ventures early on, and it's a mistake to think that you shouldn't get joint ventures or working with other people or organizations, because that might dilute your message or make it look like you're dependent or leaning on others for support. Quite the opposite. I think what this shows is that you are part of a community, and early on, if you're able to connect with other people who are perhaps operating in your space, then you can leverage their network and their connections. For instance, earlier today I was requested to do a Facebook Live hijacks, one of these things where I'm given the Facebook password and login, and I think it's going to be in the start of November. I'm going to be presenting on someone else's Facebook, so it's great because we can help each other out. I can give value to his audience, and and his audience will get to know me as well. So you could do that kind of thing right at the very start. It's a good way of kind of getting in there straight away, even if you haven't got much of an audience yourself, or later on it's something that can help others, but also it can then get you a quick spike of traffic or something like that. But joint ventures don't have to be hacking social media like that. It could be perhaps doing a deal with someone else. If you sell fitness merchandise, then go into a shop and say, what would it look like if we maybe work together in some way? So joint ventures is a really good way of capitalizing on other people's networks and helping them at the same time. So look at what value you can add, and in return what they can do for you too. So many joint ventures along the way is a good idea. This next one's important. Hire early. For one of my products, it was in pre-launch phase, and it'd been in pre-launch phase for about 5 weeks. That was it. And everyone around me was going, oh, we do want to hold off a bit before you hire anyone else. Maybe see how it goes, just kind of just kind of see how the sales roll in for a bit. Maybe you're going a bit too fast. Rubbish, get in there straight away. I'd hired, I think, 4 people within 5 weeks of pre-launch, so it was just literally being rolled out, this beta test of what I was doing. Hadn't even finished the product, but getting these people in meant that we had greater scope for meeting more people and telling them about the product. More sales came in straight away. The revenue shot straight up because I can only do so much, but I had 4 more people then helping, and across time zones it really helped. I selected people from all over the world. That really made a big difference. It may be that some people aren't as good as you, and in fact it's very likely, get this in your heads, it's very likely that people aren't going to be as good as you, right? But you've got to give that up, because where they fall down a bit, maybe they are 70% as effective as you, even if it's an assistant, for instance. What you gain in terms of time and therefore other resource is huge, because you should be looking at top line stuff. Okay, so bear that in mind. Hiring early is really important, because it will also mean if you have to invest in people, if you have to train them up, you have to do a lot of work. Well, you need to hire early so you can go through that process of building them up and then, and training them. If you leave it later, well, then it will take longer for them to be up to speed. Okay, so it's important to bear that in mind. Get them in early. Sales and an assistant is a really good way of giving yourself time, helping revenues come in whilst you're still selling, of course, as well. Number 4 is one of my favorites. It's one I've done a lot of work on in the past, and it's something that I think requires you to overcome some fear or self-doubt, moving aside the emotional and focusing to the practical. So it's this: expand, but not just that, expand when you can. Okay, I think the way I put it in the past was, don't expand when it feels comfortable, expand when it's possible. There's a major difference. When it's possible is you practically making a decision to expand based on a business reason, such as it is now possible. When you expand when you're comfortable, you're saying the business may be ready. It may have been ready for 6 months, but I want to wait until an arbitrary time when I feel comfortable about expanding my business. I would just want a bit more money in the bank, right? I'm just going to wait a bit longer. I'm just going to get a few more sales. I'm just going to wait till the end of the year. This is the killer. If you hear yourself saying this, or other people, give yourself or those people a kick. This is a dangerous time of year for a lot of people, because we're mid-late October, and I'm hearing it already, people saying, yeah, I'm going to wait till January 1st. Someone I spoke to the other day had, for instance, a really good reason for it. It was a contractual reason. Fine, no problem, but you can still do something in the background. But for many, it's like there's this weird thing about the 1st of January ticking over a new year, or even on a micro scale, I won't start that till Monday. It's Friday today, right? It's Friday. Well, I'll wait till Monday then. Or I'll wait till tomorrow. No, do it now. Do it now. If it's possible, do it now. If you feel comfortable or not, who cares? It's what the business requires, not what's going to make you feel good. This is really important. If I'm running a shop and I can afford to build a new shop, or to open a new branch, if it can be possible, if it can happen, I should be doing it. Oh, but there's a recession on. Some people might say in the future, now's the time to do it. If you can do it, you should. You need to expand. That's the way you're going to win. Okay, don't retreat, as Grant Cardone might say. And if you're feeling a little bit worried about it, well, it might be founded on something. You might need to just check that you can afford to do it. But if you can afford to do it, that means you can, so you should. Simple. Your business comes first, not how you feel emotionally. This is a big deal. This is a really important one. Number 5. This seems like a weird thing to add, but it's important, okay? Embrace tech and tools. Especially, I'm going to write here as well, especially for productivity. Look, if you're an 18, I spoke to someone earlier today who's 17. The guy is like, he just knows his Snapchats from his periscopes and all that kind of thing. And, he obviously he's clear on a lot of apps and things like that. I mean, the guy is so productive because he's making this tech work for him. He's also in 2016. Most of you aren't in 2016 because you're not embracing, apps or whatever that can help you out. So just because you're a bit older, that's not an excuse, all right? It's not an excuse to jump off the train and go, I'm not going to learn anymore. I know how to use my phone, all right? I can text. I kind of got WhatsApp. I'm just getting au fait with Instagram. No, you need to catch up, okay? The world you're in means that if you don't understand the different pieces of tech and tools out there that can help you, you're going to be behind, okay? So being stubborn about it isn't going to get you anywhere. To scale and to grow, you need to be using tools and different types of tech, I believe, to help with productivity. Great things coming out on the market. One thing I'd recommend, if you haven't tried it, I recommend to a lot of my clients, is an app called Trello, Trello.com. It's fantastic. You can share it with your team. You can say, right, you can assign tasks. It's all live, cloud-based and updates. It works with your phone, works with the PC. It doesn't matter if you're an Android or an iOS user. It's fantastic, and it's a good way of live staying in touch with what people are doing. I remember coming into a company, a client in the city in London last year, and these guys are doing great. They're making lots of revenue, but they're using a spreadsheet, saved an Excel spreadsheet across departments, a spreadsheet which had information on part of what their product was doing. And what would happen is someone would save it, then they'd forward it back to this kind of central hard drive if they'd updated it. Then someone else would go on, type in what they wanted to type, save it, and you had to wait for someone to have gone out of it before you could go in. And I was just like, guys, Google Documents, what's wrong with you? So then the thought of, the thing is, most of them didn't know about Google Documents. Some of them did, but they hadn't put two and two together. Suddenly now it's Google Sheets. You could use other stuff as well, but it's not groundbreaking, but it does make a difference when you can all edit the same document at the same time. You can all access it from a browser, from your phone, from your computer on your desk, rather than a central hard drive, which is liable to break eventually. And that's a weak example. There's loads of things out there. You need to embrace tech and tools. You're not too old, okay? I don't like to think I'm not old. I'm 36, but there's plenty of tech and tools out there. Embrace it, get stuck in, play around with it, try something new. You have to do it because you're going to get left behind otherwise. And a lot of them are fantastic in making you more productive. So check out that one. Trello is a very good one I've found, okay? Finally, 6, I say there's a lot of other things for scaling. I could talk about investing. I've done that before. I could talk about stages of growth in terms of finance, but I think this final one is kind of a no-brainer, okay? And this is fairly fashionable thing to say at the moment, but it is a no-brainer, and it's this: get a mentor, okay? Get a mentor who has done it before, okay? Business mentors, there's a lot out there, there's two a penny. Get someone who's scaled businesses before. Get someone who knows how to go to the level you're trying to get to, okay? You can outgrow mentors, you can. You can get to a point where you're like, I kind of know the stuff you know, but to get to this next level, I need someone who's been there. I need someone who has worked with businesses and know how to scale them. So you need a mentor at that level. Upskill your mentor. That doesn't mean train your mentor. What it means is get one who's got a greater skill or experience, really, because then you can say, you know what, I need it to be, instead of $1 million a year business, I want it to be a $6 million a year business, and with multiple branches. Who's done that? Let's go and engage with them, okay? Because sometimes, as I say, you outgrow your mentor. Sometimes they might be able to help with their intuition, but they might not have actually done it before. And if they haven't done it, then be wary, because you're getting advice from someone who's using intelligence and educated guesses as opposed to someone who's actually been through the pain. And that's the biggest thing about mentors. Watch out for people who have just intelligence. Intelligence should be a prerequisite. You want to be looking at people who have been through the pain before. Okay, one of the reasons why so many people use me, not just for startup businesses, because I've built them myself, but also for sales, is because I've been through the pain. So I was speaking to a guy the other day who's cold calling, and in fact one this morning as well, who's going to be cold calling in the coming month or so. I've been through the pain. I've done this for 15 years. So whilst there are people with more experience than me, at least it's not 5 minutes. It's not something I've not done, but could probably guess my way through. It's something I've been through the pain. I've been through those days where I couldn't get a sale. I felt terrible about it. I wanted to kick the bucket and just leave it. I'm not interested in the job anymore, that kind of thing. but then I've pulled myself through it, and then in turn train people to do the same. So make sure your mentor has actually been through the pain as well. Hope that helps. So just recap, for scaling a business, growing your business up is important. Be creative, try different things other than the obvious to actually get yourself growing up. This kind of links with point 6, ask these people as well. Joint ventures, work with others, work with influencers in your network and outside of it, people who have got a good set of connections you can leverage. Hire early, go early. If you can, then get someone in who can help. How do I do that? I've got no capital. Go get some capital by sales yourself, or get some sales teams working for you on commission only. Oh, I don't want to work on commission only, I want a basic. No problem, you're not right for me then. Plenty of people will work on commission only, and those people are the ones who probably back themselves to do a sale in the first place, which is exactly what you need. Okay, expand when you can. Remember, forget your emotions, focus on the business. Does the business practically, or rather is the business practically able to grow? If it is, go for it, do it. Okay, how you feel doesn't come into it. You're a bit nervous? Well, you will be. Get on with it. Don't wait till a time when you're not. Okay, embrace tech and tools, embrace things that are going to help with productivity. Get out of the dark ages, get yourself using these new apps, cloud-based systems that can help with productivity, as I say, the likes of Trello.com. Upgrade your phone, whatever it is, get things that are going to help make your world a bit more streamlined. This thing can be a real major game changer, even though it feels like a very small, trivial point. And finally, mentor. Get someone who can guide the way, say, look, follow me, I can show you how to do it because I've been through the pain before. Really hope that helps. If you're scaling your business, get in touch if you want a bit more help with it, but otherwise all the best. It's a thrilling time, but don't just stand still. It's time to grow yourself always, because then you can move to more exciting and thrilling places. Best wishes, have a great weekend, whatever you're up to. I'll speak to you soon.